Oh, I had to show you something. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yep.
Can you see me?
Hello. No.
Here we are.
And I was told to leave.
Here's Jamila.
People with masks on. They must be Biden supporters.
They're sitting with other people, staying safe.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of them look like they're by themselves and they're wearing it. It's a political statement.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure all the committee members saw the note about 54 Dundas Street being tabled.
No. No, it didn't. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So that one that was originally scheduled at 1:10 was they had tabled it. Sorry, I thought I sent a note about it.
Okay.
That's still being worked on?
It is, yes.
Okay. Put that one back in the pile. Okay.
PhD file. File higher than
Remember, where was that note, or did I miss it totally?
It was on the electronic agenda, but it might have been, it might not have been communicated in the comments package.
No
I might not have put it in there.
Okay, no worries.
Nancy seems happy today.
She's always happy. So, first, 1:15, We have no Laverne today.
No.
We're on holidays.
Well, he's on his way to going on holidays.
Why is this application this thick, the first one?
Where's your camera, Mark Judzik? Get your camera going.
Am I not on?
No.
Get your camera going. Your video's off.
Am I on now? Look at this thing. That's the first
Oh,
application.
yeah.
I keep getting these cool things. But at least the paper.
Yeah.
Somebody's squealing. Is that me? Can anybody else hear the squeal?
Yes, I can. Sounds like it's coming from Thomas.
What's that?
The squeal?
Squealing noise, because your name pops up whenever that noise comes up.
That's probably my neighbor blowing the last leaf off her lawn or something. Yeah.
When we get started, I'll mute everybody.
Okay.
And then just let the speaker speak.
Ooh.
Is the squeal gone? I muted my mic there.
It is now. It just comes every now and then. But it's like one of those fingernails on chalkboard kind of things. Really, really shrill.
The kids know what chalkboards are anymore?
No,
Somebody showing her age.
Chalkboards.
They don't chalkboard paint. It's not
That's
quite the same
right.
thing.
That's right, chalkboard paint now.
I go back when they were slate boards.
Yeah.
Thought it was when they used rocks and stones.
Not quite, awful close.
Margaret, I had a note that you were going to be away. Is it October 22nd? Is that the one that you were going to be away?
I was going to, but now I'm going to be able to make it.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yes. Yes. Bit of a break for Thanksgiving. The days lined up a little weird.
Next one's the 23rd.
22nd.
22nd. Ready to rock?
Yes, I am. So the first one is FLB 2046 for 13 Herbert Place in Flamborough. And we had the agent registered to speak, and they did wish to speak first. We also had a couple members of staff as well as an interested party.
Okay, who's speaking on behalf of the applicant?
Joel Akatosh, agent for the applicant. Can you
Okay,
hear
so
me?
you can speak first, and then the city, and then the interested party, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, having read the comments, and in particular the comments from Source Water Protection Branch, we're going to request tabling of the application at this time to further review those comments and meet with Source Water Protection Branch again. So we're requesting tabling at this time.
Okay, so for the benefit of the interested party whose name's on record, because of the comments that just came out, this is going to be tabled to another date. You'll be given notice when it does come back in whatever form. So could I have a motion for tabling, please?
I'll give a motion for tabling.
Okay, seconder,
Nancy.
all in favor? Okay, application's tabled. Everyone will be notified when this is brought back with new comments if. And Jamila, do you have the applicant or the interested party's name and contact?
Yes, I do. I have the interested parties, and we will make sure that they are notified when the item comes back.
Okay, thank you very much. Hearing adjourned.
Thank you.
I think your camera's off again, Mark.
Is it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I just don't like us seeing you drinking your coffee.
I know I had a couple of spare change, as you guys know. Keep pressing the button. Am I on now?
No.
Just leave it for a minute.
I don't have a minute.
Okay, maybe try it again. It's still not showing up.
Oh well, you just don't see me.
Okay.
There I am.
Hey, perfect.
Hey, that's my tie. The next one has tabling recommended as well.
Okay, we are all set.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we are hearing FLB 19133 and FLB 19134 for 1806 8th Concession Road West in Flamborough. And we have the agent registered to speak, as well as some, I believe they're family members of the agent.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so who am I speaking with first? Akeem? I can't hear you.
Yes, I am Achim Kloss, and I'm surrounded by my sons, Nathan on my one side and Aaron on my other. And my third son is listed there on your screen as Kloss, the last name. That's Ryan. He's participating from another location.
Okay, sir, I noticed in the comments, which you probably have seen, that there's a recommendation that this be tabled. Was that your inclination at this time, or were you planning to proceed with the application?
Well, we were hoping to proceed. I mean, this whole process has almost been 2 years. We did not read those comments, or we did not receive them until yesterday. Otherwise, we would have followed up with, I think the critical part is under development engineering, the comment number 4 deals with the Grand River Conservation Authority not necessarily having given reports on the prescribed setbacks. Just to briefly acquaint you with what we've gone through, we've met several times with Nathan Garland from the Grand River Conservation Authority throughout this entire process. He's been out on site. An EIS has been done by Natural Resource Solutions and was worked out in consultation with the Grand River Conservation Authority and ESAC with Kathy Holtz, your natural heritage planner. Buffer zones were set up from the wetland as outlined, and in that respect, we even exceeded the outlines that were prescribed, and they were staked off on the property, measured accurately with long tapes, transcribed onto an accurate scale site plan map, which I prepared. They were all verified by the ESAC members that toured the property. Kathy Holtz all saw all of this, approved. Further to that, one of the ESAC members requested that a septic engineer be brought in to consult and verify what was being proposed for the setbacks in question was feasible. We brought in flow spec engineering to do that. They concurred with everything that was set out. In other words, we did all our homework and due diligence to try to make this thing work. And bearing in mind that we are very natural heritage minded. I mean, this is a former Christmas tree farm that our 3 sons want to build on. So we're very conscious of the natural features that are there, and we want to preserve them. So all of this has been done with the intent of trying to get this passed so that, in particular, one of our sons, he's so eager to start building and get that process going, which has now taken already 2 years. And the other 2 will be coming online with their building of their residences next year. I mean, we were hoping that this was finally it, and only to discover that yesterday there was this clause out of all of the comments that it should be tabled again because the Grand River Conservation had not submitted their final report based on all of these meetings. We have done everything possible here to put this in order, and you can even verify this with your own natural heritage planner that everything is correct.
Okay, Mr. Klaas, so I've read the comments and they seem to be favorable. You seem to have done all your homework, and you said you have spoken with the authority that said that it might be tabled. They haven't put it in writing. I guess it's up to the committee as to whether you want to take the viva voce evidence from the applicant that all of these things were satisfied. There seems to be no other concerns. Does the committee, staff, or anyone want to say anything? Sure.
Yes. I wouldn't, not necessarily on the Grand River Conservation question, but I do have a further question. So
go ahead.
To the applicant, looks like one of the conditions is going to be that you have to do a scoped hydrogeological study as one of your conditions of your consent. I just want to confirm, have you actually drilled the wells on each of those lots already?
No, we are waiting for the application approval to do whatever conditions are required, including the survey and so on. The property is currently owned by myself, my brother, and the survivor of my sister, Jason O'Halloran. And the intent here is that if this application is approved, our sons are going to purchase the shares from my brother and Jason so that they can proceed and build on this property. So anything that's related that can be obviously put off until application has been approved, including the final purchase details, we have put off. The intent is to drill the wells immediately on all three in order to fulfill any other concerns and so on, that we verify everything is in order.
The reason I'm asking this is because if you have to do any off-site monitoring, so drilling the well and doing off-site monitoring, I'm just concerned that you'd be able to do it within the 1 year period of the consent and get a sign off.
Yeah, offhand, unless we have actually been in touch with a well drilling company. They are basically on standby in the sense that they are not going to put it off. That this will be scheduled in very shortly. Offhand, I would say there's no issue with a 1 year criteria for any of that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
We have Nancy.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Nancy.
the question, thank you. Just the question regarding the work that you've had with, is it Nathan Garland at Grand River? Did he give you anything in writing? Because typically they do send something in writing once they've done their work. Or is this just...
No, there is one communication that was sent on May the 5th, and it was directed to Villamere, planning technician. And basically he commented on the site plan that I had prepared with the measurements, and the body of the report was that it was positive. It indicated that there were no objections that were substantial to this. There were some details, however, that we should have looked at, which we did in the following months as we went into the ESAC meeting. We were the first ones to be scheduled with the ESAC because of the COVID situation. And we addressed all of those concerns from that point on, from when we received this on May the 5th from Nathan Garland. So there is a bit of a paper trail. The verification that we address all those concerns, that's the reporting that I'm referring to that has not come through to you. But it can all be verified by Natural Resource Solutions, the EIS company that was retained. Kathy, in your own city hall, can verify this because she was part of the discussions with Nathan. I mean, it was a little frustrating and a little surprising to see that this issue, which I thought was completely resolved and was, number one on our list to resolve, was the one that came back on us that had the comment to be tabled again.
Okay, if I could cut in for a sec, what if it was in the discretion of the committee to potentially grant approval subject to us receiving a written correspondence from the Grand River saying that they have no objections.
Well, that's the word you took right out of my mouth, Mr. Chairman.
So we could technically, I'm not saying we, I'm saying someone could make a motion to approve as is, subject to that. And if they send an email or letter with no issues of any sort, or if there is an issue to resolve it, then you can move forward from there.
I'm prepared to
That would
make
be-
that motion.
Okay.
Okay,
We have a
so
motion.
sorry, Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, that motion is including all conditions as currently stated in the document with the addition of a note from conservation saying that they're okay with the new lots.
Yeah,
Correct.
if they do say something like they're okay, but one little thing and they do it, then that gets followed up and moved from there. Are you good with that, Mr. Kloss?
Yep.
That would be very appropriate. Thank you.
So there's a motion from Nancy with the conditions, including the Grand River, verifying that they're okay. Is there a seconder to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed, if any? Application approved.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks, bye-bye.
Thanks. Okay. That's it. We're finished.
Oh,
It's a different sound.
Okay, I am all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, just hang on one sec, guys. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Can you? I can't find myself on here. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. You might have to scroll. There's quite a few people on today.
Oh, okay. I was scrolling and found it. It's all right. I'm probably at the back of the bus. It's okay. As long as you can see me, I don't care.
Yep, you're all good. I've got the committee members pinned for the most part, so I can see everybody all at the same time.
Okay.
Oh,
There.
okay, Mark,
Yes, I'm here.
you're back on. Okay, we're all set?
Yep.
Okay, so we're good. We're hearing GLA 19425 for 2337 Guyot Road in Glanbrook. And we have the owner registered to speak, Gino.
You there, Gino?
Yes, I am.
No interested parties or objectors? No?
No,
Here we
no
go.
other interested parties.
Does the committee have any questions or
Okay,
concerns?
sorry, just a minute. Gino, there's something with your connection and it's causing quite a bit of feedback. I think you have your microphone and your speakers right beside each other.
I'm borrowing a laptop here. Come on. Gonna try and connect from my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we can hear you, but it's causing quite a bit of feedback. So when you're speaking, we can't hear you. So if you have a phone, you can call in if you've got one handy. Otherwise, you're going to have to mute your audio is the only other suggestion that I would have for it.
Let's try to turn the volume down.
What's going on there? Okay, does the committee have any problems with this one? It seems pretty okay.
So we had Mel wish to speak, and then Nancy as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Mike, one of my concerns is I'm going to ask the question, does he have a farm registration number for that? Because he classifies himself as a farm. I question that. Just want to know if he's got a farm registration number. No answer on that yet.
Okay,
Mel?
no, so Mr. Zappelli, if you can hear me, you're going to have to call in because we can't hear you with the feedback.
Another thing that really concerned me is it states it's 95 acres. Well, there's no 95 acres there. It's the farm behind it's got 95 acres. He maybe has 7 acres there at the most. And it's, he isn't farming it, and it doesn't come underneath the acreage to make it classified for a farm acreage, for farm registration. In that case, he wouldn't be able to get a building permit under the farm, for a farm building.
Should we go on to the next one and come back if he can make contact?
Yeah, because I have questions as well.
I do also.
Yeah, I think we got a few questions.
Okay, Mr. Zappelli, Mr. Chairman, if you're, somebody want to make I don't know if we need to make a motion to just suspend it.
Somebody just dialed in, though. Did you catch that? Was it Mr.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's him.
Okay, I'm on the phone now.
Okay, wonderful.
That's better. That's better.
Okay, Mel, maybe if you want to just repeat your questions that you had.
One question I've got, do you have a farm registration number?
No.
No. So in other words, you don't qualify under the farm building permit to get a building permit under the farm building. And another thing it claims on your application, you got 95 acres, and that would be the farm behind you, not the land you got. You probably got about 7 acres there.
There's 9.5 acres there.
That's including the house that's up front too, and the building. So it's, it's farmable land. You probably got about 7 acres or less. So it doesn't come classify under for a farm. So that's my opinion there. So.
Okay, and we had questions from Nancy.
So I'm reading back on this, and if I recall, we looked at this property a number of months ago. Back in November of last year, apparently there was an order to comply because the building had already been commenced, and then it was stopped. I also see the diagram that it contains a second story, which is supposed to be used for leisure and recreation. And based on the plan, it appears there may have even been like a washroom or something put on that second floor. If what Melvin states is true, that the size of the property, then anything I say beyond this doesn't really matter. But if it still applies, then I would have an issue with A, the second floor being used for any type of recreational use, and B, if it's 9.5 acres, I don't know why they can't meet the 15-meter setback. Seems like there's an awful lot of land there to be off by, 200% of what the setback should be. Those are my comments.
Okay. Well, the paper that was sent to us here, it says that the leisure and recreation area within the second story is not correct. It is for storage for agricultural. This is what we tried to rectify in the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, we also have Dale who wants to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess the problem with the 95 acres was a decimal point in the wrong spot. So it's supposed to be 9.5 acres, obviously. There's 6.5 acres that's available to crop or plant crops in, and that's done by a neighboring farmer, not by the owner of the property. So he's not farming it. Also, there's already 2 fairly large accessory structures on the site, and they're not being used for agriculture use either. And as far as the minor variance for the rear yard setback, the building is partially erected, obviously got caught without a permit, and so 3 meters is what he is from the lot line now, which is 9 feet 10 inches. And what he's supposed to be is 15 meters. 15 meters equals 49 feet. So, you know, he's almost 40 feet too close to the lot line. That alone, in my mind, is not minor. Along with all the other issues with this application, I can't support it.
Anyone else?
And we have Thomas as well.
Well, it seems to me that this is more of a residential use than an agricultural use. Given the information about the agricultural use of the property, I don't know why you need a building that large, particularly if there are other accessory buildings on the property. What's the explanation for that?
We have the existing barns right now are not suitable for storing the fruits and vegetables. The new building is suitable for storing the fruits and vegetables, such as mouse infestation in the other buildings, just to keep the food from being spoiled.
Are these fruits and vegetables that you grow? I got the impression you weren't growing anything. What are you growing?
No, I'm growing all of them.
I'm sorry?
I'm growing all the fruits and vegetables.
And you need all those buildings to store, or you just need this one building to store them?
Well, we have tractors, and we have a piece of equipment that works on the barns as well to try and get them rectified.
We have Dale with another question or comment.
Well, so the issue here is, and maybe there needs to be a site visit, but I know that I have visited it, and so have a couple other members on the committee. And this gentleman owns a construction company, and there's 3. I was there today. There's 3 dump trucks on site. I was there last year and had a view inside the buildings. Backhoe, skid steers in the one building, and the other building had cars and trucks in it. In my mind, there was no agricultural equipment on this site at all.
Okay, I'm interested to ask the staff. They recommended that this be approved, so there must be some grounds for them saying that. Staff, do you have anything to say?
Through the chair, our comments are basically drafted with the assumption that this was an agricultural use, and therefore we recognize that the 3 meter setback relief from the 15 meter requirement was appropriate for this specific application.
Okay, so the meters versus the 40 that Dale said isn't as big an issue for you. It seems to be the use is more the problem. Anyone else?
We have Nancy.
I'd like to repeat again that I don't feel that that setback relief is minor. And I do have some druthers about the height and the use of the building, so I'm prepared to make a motion for denial.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor of motion to deny? Anyone opposed?
Seeing none.
Okay, so it's unanimous deny. Okay, application denied, hearings adjourned.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we are hearing GLA 2168 for 300 Trinity Church Road in Glanbrook. And we have the owners registered to speak, as well as the agent and an interested party as well.
Is the interested party Robin Jet?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. Okay, does the applicant wish to speak first, and then the interested party can speak if they wish, although we do have their letter? Who's speaking?
It would be Achilles Sarah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first I'd like to address the staff comments. I think it refers to the past applicant. I have stated there that there's a 2-story on my property. The storage barn will be a 2-story, but it's not. And it states that it'll have a bathroom and a sink in it, and it doesn't have that in anywhere in the plans. So I'm assuming that there's an error somewhere, and but mine is just a flat storage area. So once that's addressed, maybe the descriptions might change. Thoughts on the property, I don't know, but I don't have a second floor. I don't have a bathroom or plumbing integrated into it. Secondly was I would like to address the concerns of the neighbor. The proposed structure will be 30 feet from their fence line, 18 from the back farm, Loudon Farm, and it would be 10 feet from the other part of Loudon's farm. I'm 2-sided by farm and 1-sided by a neighbor. The neighbor concern is that it's 12-foot doors indicate a business. I don't run a business out of there. It will be strictly for storage and for my stuff and the family stuff. The other concern she had was the grade of the land. The lay of the land has been there since the day we moved in, 1980. Before that, I don't know what it was, but nothing's been changed in the lay of the land. Even with the building going up at 0 grade, without excavating, without touching any part of the land, she's complaining about, or he's complaining about the water going onto his land. I have no control over the rain or the clay absorbency. So addressing that, if the building goes up, all eaves will be going to the northeast side where water catchment will be available for us, because we do use the water for our gardens. So if anything, it'll be helping them because the sheeting off the roof would be there. Another concern that in the letter was about eyesore. The building will be an eyesore. Apparently the trusses will be an eyesore, but a finished building actually would be a pleasure to look at rather than just the trees that they have. They have trees down the fence line. They're 30-foot trees all the way down the fence line, probably about 15 feet apart, and a fence. So to actually look over, they have to actually physically move everything to see it. I've got pictures that I sent to the meeting for that. But that's something that, you know, eyesore is something that's personal. And the other thing that she had addressed was the height. The height is the 12 feet to the ceiling, and then it's a 7-foot peak. So it would make it 19 feet. But because of the grade, I didn't want to touch the grade of the ground. It's 18.6 is what it is for the height. I don't know if there's any other concerns. That's the other thing I wanted to add was that it's 200 feet back from the dwelling, and their dwelling also is 200 feet back. So if that makes any decision helping.
Okay, I got the idea. Those are good comments. Is Rob or Joyce speaking on behalf of 3009?
Rob is.
Rob, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, the height really concerns us, and the water really concerns us, because that lay of land has been altered, because there used to be a pool between our house and his house, and they built the concrete wall between the houses there. And we get all of his water, and with this building that size and the roof, we're going to get flooded out because there's going to be sheeting water coming down. And our other massive concern is it looks like there's going to be a business run out of there. Why does he need such a big building and two huge bay doors? Like, they're huge doors. And the structure is massive in a backyard. I'm not sure why that's necessary.
Okay, does the committee have any questions or comments?
Yes, yes. Sorry, we have lots of hands just went up all at the same time. So I saw Thomas, and then Dale, and then Margaret, and then Nancy is who I've got so far. And just so you know, Mr. Chairman, we can't see your video stream anymore either.
No, let me work on it at the end of this. Go ahead.
Okay. So go ahead, Thomas.
I'm just looking at the staff comments, and they say that the accessory building square footage exceeds the footage of the primary detached dwelling, and therefore it's not a minor variance. And I tend to view that with some concern. You must have an awful lot of stuff if you need buildings bigger than your house to store it all.
I have RVs that have been destroyed since the growth of the town. I have police reports to prove that. I have damages that I can't keep calling the insurance on. I have a classic car that I'd like to store in there instead of leaving it out in the open. I have an RV that I like to store in there instead of leaving it out in the open. These things, may be minimal to somebody else, but these are expenses that I incurred or we incurred as a family, and we'd like to store our stuff. We're not the throw type of people. We like to keep our things, and it is for personal use. Yes, it's 2,400 square feet. I bought a barn that was being taken down, and this is why I have the trusses and I have so the roof itself, the trusses are that size because of the purchase to try to save money in building. Does that satisfy?
Not exactly. Lots of other people have lots of stuff, and sometimes they find it necessary to store it off this residential site rather than build a monster building. I'm still concerned.
Okay, the use of the land is this is why we would store our stuff there and keep it out of the way of the damages from the city and everything else. But there's tractors that we use. There's different tractors that we use that I can't get into the 8-foot door. And that's why the doors are what they are. They're 10 by 12, but they're 12 foot wide by 10 foot, and most of it's to be symmetrical.
How big is this property?
It's 30,000 square feet. So that's 100 by 300.
And how many tractors do you need to look after that?
I've got 2. One has a rototiller implement on it, and the other one has the lawnmower implement, and I have one with a little excavator on it. But if I have to dig a tree out, so it's actually 3, but the implement is interchangeable.
Okay, and then we had Dale as well.
Go ahead, Dale.
Okay, yep. So when I saw the numbers, I started doing some math, and when we got the comments from the city, the numbers started to make sense. But the lot coverage is just way too much. The new structure itself, I don't know whether you started to build it without a permit and, you know, your neighbor or someone had blown the whistle on you. But that new building is 222 meters squared, which is a little bit over what you're allowed. Plus you've got the 22 by 50 accessory building that's already there. So you are about 126 meters squared too much of accessory structure on this lot. Granted, the lot is large. It's 100 feet wide by 300 deep. I kind of had to smile when it said the building was going to be used to store farm implements, and the equipment that you just mentioned in my mind is glorified garden tractors. I have a hard time understanding agricultural use on a lot that size. I can't support this application. I agree with the comments from planning. It's too much lot coverage for this spot.
Can I address that concern?
Actually, let the other applicants or the other committee members speak, and then you can address them all at the end.
Okay, thank you.
Nancy?
Okay, so we have Margaret and then Nancy, yes.
My question was, or my comment was very similar to Dale's, that the application originally said 222 square meters, but it is actually the 326 square meters, which makes it even worse, I think, from my point of view. So I agree with Dale. So that's my only comment.
Okay, anyone else?
Nancy?
Same comment. I mean, it is no longer minor, and the lot coverage is excessive as opposed to being 5% lot coverage. I believe it becomes just under 12%. I wouldn't call this a huge lot. I drove by there. I didn't go to the property, but I did see the structure had begun. I'm assuming without permit. If I'm wrong, correct me. The other building that's there, if it were to be removed, that might change things a whole lot, but I do not believe that was the intention, to remove the 1,100 square foot building. So if I'm seeing it as I see it, then I neither would be able to support the application.
Okay, anyone else? And then the applicant can make final comments.
I don't see anybody else from the committee.
Okay, Mr. Sira.
Hello. I would like to add the concern about the tractors that Dale had made in regards to equipment that's not accordingly farm equipment. To give you a little bit of history and background, number one, we come from a large family and we do a lot of our own processing. It means we grow all our own tomatoes. We grow all our own peppers. We grow all our own vegetables. And with this COVID-19 going on, we actually do that quite a bit. This year, the gardening hasn't been as thorough as it was because of the building. And that addresses that. As far as land being used, he had commented on it doesn't seem that many tractors. We try to do things as easy as we can with the tractors. So the storage is there. Yes, did I make it bigger? Yes, because of I have other things that I would like to put in there. But the storage tractors and everything else will be used. That's what it's used for. And the other thing is the building permit was applied for well before. I'm not too familiar with this new e-plans that they had me go through, and I was lost in I know it's ignorance, but I just really don't understand the way it works. I had to actually get my family members involved in trying to work through the computer to get the permit going. And as you guys know yourself, building material has been a nightmare to get a hold of. And when I did find it, I did buy it. And if you leave that material sit, it warps and twists if it's not put up properly. That being said, that's why the building seems like it was started early, but the permit was applied well before, if that has any bearing on anything. And as far as the other garage, I can easily apply for a permit again and attach it to the house if that's need be. But I'll still need a clearance because it is 2,400 square foot variance. Well, not the whole variance, because then you would be allowed so much. But that is an avenue I can take because the house isn't, the building is in coordination with the house, and I can attach it to the house. As of now, it's just a breezeway there.
Okay, anyone?
Well, I actually put forward a motion for denial.
Is there a second? Second for the motion.
I see Mel.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a motion seconded by Mel. All in favor of a motion for deny? Anyone opposed to the motion for deny?
Seeing none.
Okay, application denied, hearing adjourned. You'll get correspondence with you, and if you want to appeal it, there's a mechanism to do so. Hearing's adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I have to apply again.
Dundas Street.
And were you wanting to fix your camera, Mr. Chairman, or did you want to proceed with the next one?
Hang on, I'll play with it again. Here I am. Ta-da. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, so we are hearing FLA 2167 or 372 Dundas Street East in Flamborough. And we have the agent, Nicole Sherwood, on behalf of the City of Hamilton, registered.
Are you there, Nicole? Where are you?
Hi there. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. No interested parties or objectors?
No.
Comments favorable? Anyone have anything they wish to say?
I'll move it.
Okay, is there a seconder?
I see Nancy.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed?
See
Carried.
none.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's get through something.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that's when we got the extra comments here.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right, so we are hearing A and B 2039 for 3011 Jerseyville Road West in Ancaster. And we have the agent registered to speak, as well as some staff and the owner.
Okay, who's here on behalf of the applicant?
I am Mr. Chairman, Kirk McPherson.
Oh, got the high price talent here.
Oh, please.
Now, obviously, you've seen the comments and you see what the recommendation is. What would you like to say to persuade us?
This property that was bought in November of 2019 from the Batushins had been used for farming before that. It has been used for farming since that time. It will continue to be used for farming. So there is no intention to tear apart farm property. And Mr. Miller has made that clear to us. It was really simply an error in terms of transferring the title on November 22nd, 2019 into the numbered company that happened to own the adjoining property. Shouldn't have happened. It did. And that's why we're here today.
Does an inadvertent merger?
It was an inadvertent merger. It should no other reason. As I say, farmed before on a lease basis, farmed since then. The only thing to add is the fact I wasn't the one who accidentally merged it.
We've all done that work. We've done it more than once.
I want to be for those things. We did see the comments saying that if the committee did choose to approve it, there are a series of recommendations from the city. We are comfortable with all of those recommendations.
Okay, well, that sounds very reasonable to me. Does the committee have any concerns? We're just putting back what was there due to an inadvertent merger.
We have Dale.
I have no concerns at all. It was just an issue with the merger that shouldn't have happened. So I'll make a motion to accept the application, approve it.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
In favor? Opposed? None?
Oh, sorry, I didn't vote.
Oh, you did?
You're not opposed, though?
I'm not opposed, no.
Okay.
Sorry, I just daydreaming, sorry.
Okay, hearing's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk.
All right, so I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
Let me just dig through this here. You send me all these papers, it causes delays.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right, so we are hearing A and B 2057 for 1030 Sulphur Springs Road in Ancaster. And we have the agent, Miles, registered to speak, as well as some, and just the owner. Those were the only interested.
Okay, who's here speaking on behalf of the application?
That would be me, Miles Weeks. I'm with AJ Clark and Associates. I'm a land use planner.
Okay. Comments seem pretty good. Any questions from the committee?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I totally understand what you're planning to do. The only question I have is on the rights of way and easements. I haven't got those figured out. Maybe you can explain them to me.
Sure. So if we're taking a look at the T plan, the sketch that actually is kind of zoomed in and shows the boundary adjustment there, it shows part 2 and part 3 as the two easements. Yeah.
That's the ones
Okay. So part 2 is really just quite a small easement. It will be over, it will be over 998 Sulphur Springs Road. basically just providing access and also providing municipal water to the property. So there's a road that extends, or a private road that extends from Sulphur Springs Road. It's not a formal right of way. And this little easement that's part 2 is just enough space for a car to go down the existing driveway and turn up into the property at 1030 Sulphur. Does that help clarify?
It does, but if we're giving easements over the property, we're not giving easements over the property that's the subject of this application. It's another property, right? These easements are actually on the property to the south, the 990, whatever, 8 Sulphur Springs Road.
So it's a valid point. I would have to look back at the application. Unfortunately, the planner from our office who actually filed this, he submitted this, and he has now, since as of yesterday, began working at the city of Hamilton. So I don't have the history. I'd have to go and check the submission to double check which property was actually applied for. But I believe maybe staff can clarify this issue as to, where the easements are, or which property the easements are being applied to, and that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe somebody can clarify that, because my understanding was that we would need another application to give easements over the neighboring property.
It's just interesting that the staff comments don't seem to have any concern. And lost it.
Yeah, and I apologize. I reviewed this application quite thoroughly, but that's the technicalities of the easement relative to what property was being applied for hadn't occurred to me. I've just pulled up the application form here. I just want to verify that we did in fact apply for the correct property. And of course, if staff have any comments, that would be appreciated as well.
Staff, do you have anything to say?
For the chair, I don't have any comments at this time.
Do you see any problems from what you've heard so far?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Do you see any issues with what's been brought up here? I mean, if they're going to give easements and it's another money, obviously they have to do it and they'd have to get it completed.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I am just reviewing it, and it does appear as though it's possible that the proposed easements are on the southern property. The lot line on the one drawing that kind of delineates it isn't extremely clear, so it could have been an error when I was reviewing it. If someone wanted to make a motion that added the granting of the easements over or 4998, then it could be addressed after this decision.
So the condition would then be that the applicants apply for another easement, because we can't grant an easement over somebody else's property.
Right.
So
we can give an approval conditional on them getting it, and if they don't get it, it lapses. If they get it, then it's approved. That can be done.
Okay.
I would note that the applicant does own both of these properties.
The same applicant owns 998 and 1030?
That's correct. My understanding is that this boundary adjustment is being done for the purposes of a future sale of the northern parcel.
So it's unlikely it would be
They can deal with that, and it'll be a condition to be done.
Okay.
So then I just had Thomas with a question, I believe.
Actually, I was just concerned about giving an easement over somebody else's property. I'd rather they had the permission of somebody else before we did it, then we did it on condition.
Same person, Tom.
But now that seems to have disappeared with the explanation that the property is owned by the same party.
Yeah, and so just to clarify, we wouldn't be granting that easement today. They would have to apply for that easement for 998. And then once that was applied for, then they would be, it would come back to the committee for the southern property. So we can grant the easements for the northern property, but not for the southern property. Does that make sense?
Yes.
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 I apologize. I'm not entirely clear. I apologize. No, I'm not entirely clear. Could you just repeat that for me?
Yeah. So do you have the sketch up?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So the sketch that shows part 3 and part 2.
Yeah.
Are those entirely on 998?
That's my understanding. Yes. That the easements would be over 998 in favor of 1030.
Okay. Yeah. So then there wouldn't be easements granted today. It would be a new application for the easements. So.
Because although it's the same owner, it's a different deed, right?
Yeah, they're two separate properties.
Okay.
Or you could Miles request for it to be tabled, and we can look at it in the future.
No, I think this was I think that's the only real way forward. So I'd be satisfied with an approval conditional upon getting those easements sorted out through a separate application.
Okay, we okay with that?
Yes.
So we had Thomas, I believe.
You lost me. If the easements are over the southern property, what approval do you need for the northern property? I don't understand that. I thought you just had to approve the easement over the property over which it exists, over which it's proposed.
No,
Is there an easement proposed over the northern property?
There's a severance.
It's a severance, and that'll be a condition getting the easements. So we can grant the severance, and it won't.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got it.
Margaret, do you want to make it?
So move for approval with the additional condition?
Sure. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Well. Oh. Yes.
Opposed? No? Okay, carried.
Sorry, Bob, were you opposed?
No, I was just going to ask questions, so it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, hearing's adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I am all set for the next 3 whenever you are.
Okay, go ahead for concession 2.
Yeah, so we are, I'll call them all, and then I'll leave it up to the committee how you want to proceed with them. So we have FLB 2059 and FLA 2182 for 2016 Second Concession Road West in Flamborough. And related to that, we also have FLA 2181 for 148 Linden Road in Flamborough.
Okay, who's here for this?
So we have the agent and owner,
Yes.
Nick.
Hello.
Okay, who's here? Yep. Who is it?
Nick Winklemolen. So our family's the owner of 148 Linden Road, and I'm doing the other part on behalf of our neighbor for 2016 second extension as well.
Okay. First thing I have to ask is, what's this pet cemetery?
Oh, that's not on ours, but yeah, behind us there is a pet cemetery. So if you need somewhere to bury a loved one that's free or whatnot, then that's apparently a place to do it. And get your Christmas trees and your pumpkins, and there's a school, so.
That's great. Okay, does the committee have any questions for this gentleman?
So for 2059, it is a renewal of, I believe it's FLB 1948. I wasn't able to get it completed within the year due to COVID and some issues on the city's end with trying to get the traffic road variances. It took about 6 months to get back from the city for that. And then so it didn't give me enough time to get the variances on the two property afterward.
Okay, so you're just sort of redoing what was done before?
Yes.
Anybody?
Now we have Dale.
Dale?
So I think, I remember this was in front of us before, and I went and viewed the site. The horse farm that Lee Smith owns, that is 2016 address, the city has a problem because they're reducing the farmable acres. That property is actually, he raises Clydesdales, and it's actually a horse breeding farm. So they don't work the land, they don't farm the land, they purchase the hay, they sell the manure. So the reduction in the acreage isn't going to affect the viability of this unit. So I don't have a problem with it being a smaller acreage than it was before.
Yeah, the other thing is because of the railroad, there is no real other access other than through the Christmas tree farm and under the railroad if you have equipment small enough.
And we also had Thomas and then Nancy as well.
But it seems to me this is allowing the working of property for agricultural purposes that's now not being worked, and it seems to me it's not going against the intent of the bylaw. There's one other thing I was going to mention, and it's not slipped my mind. I'll leave it at that.
And then we had Nancy.
I would like to hear from staff. They did recommend denial.
Through the chair. Yeah, so we recommend denial based on our consistency with the official plan, the rural official plan. In particular, the reduction from the minimum required 40 hectares is 20.2. And as a technicality, we've recommended denial based on that.
Okay, and you did in the last application that got approved as well, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes. And just to note, we are a specialty crop. I know we don't fall in the specialty crop area that is designated by Hamilton, but all around us is we can't farm any land. We need very specific land. That is why we've kind of grown in the area that we are, because the land is suitable for nursery production. So it's not that we can go out and find other land. It's just it's not available.
Okay.
Just further on that, I noticed we did get approval from the Grand River Conservation in writing, unlike a certain one we had earlier where there wasn't in writing, and there is support of the councillor on this. So I guess what I hear from how Dale worded it, I'd be okay with it because nothing's going to change that way.
I'm just wondering if I'm able to get condition 4 and 5 removed since I already completed that with the first application, and I'd rather not have to pay the fee again. But I'll leave that up to you guys.
Okay, could we say that if not required, as was done on the first one?
Sorry, I'm just checking it.
Well, if the applicant was able to produce that information from previously, I would see why it couldn't be accepted.
So I can either change it to if required, or typically, I believe for those two conditions, they would, obviously I can't speak for sure, but generally they accept an update to the documents as opposed to the same submittal.
It was only sent to me on August 20th, 2020, so it's not exactly an old approval of the thing, so I don't think anything's changed in that time.
And in view of the COVID and all the issues people are having, makes some sense to me.
Well, I'll make a motion to move it.
Okay, and Nancy, was that motion removing those conditions or changing them to if required, or leaving them as is?
If required. I'm suspecting it won't be an issue, but just to cover our end.
Why don't we say if required, considering it was satisfied in the previous application that lapsed? Just for some better.
Can we add all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, do we have a seconder?
So I have Thomas. And where are you going? Oh, sorry, Mark. We weren't able to hear you.
Okay, so it's moved and seconded. All in favor? No?
Mm-hmm.
And that's for all three?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, carried.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready.
All right, so we are hearing HMA 2169 for 234 Napier Street in Hamilton. And we have the agent, Lisa, as well as the owner registered to speak.
Okay, are there any other interested parties or objectors?
No.
Is the applicant happy with everything you read in the comments?
Yeah, we reviewed the city's comments. Everything was positive.
Okay, any questions from the committee?
We have Mel.
I will move to accept it.
Okay, is there a seconder?
Sorry, and then we had Thomas, I believe, with a question, and Nancy as well.
Just like to clarify something. Is 234 Napier half of a joint dwelling, a duplex?
So
I googled it.
234 Napier is a duplex.
Yes.
And it's also a semi-detached.
All right, that's what I'm getting at. And we're putting a porch over half of a semi-detached?
Correct.
Okay, just kind of strange.
The half that we own.
All right.
Okay. Motion.
And mine was just a second. That was all I was going to do.
Okay.
Okay, so we had Mel moved and Nancy seconded.
Mark's gone.
Opposed? Okay, application approved. Hearing adjourned.
Thank you.
Everybody's on buzz now.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
For Dundurn,
That's correct.
go ahead.
All right, so we're hearing HMA 2179 for 460 Dundurn Street South in Hamilton. And we have the agent registered to speak. We have two agents registered to speak, actually. So we have
All right.
David and Natalia.
Who wants to speak?
I'll be speaking, Mr. Chairman. David Carruthers.
You actually have letters of support? Ooh, smoke.
Yes, we do. We've reached out to members of the area for just to do our diligence to get some feedback, and everybody's in support.
Wow, we don't see that every day. Okay, you like what you read? You could put comments?
Yes, I've read through them and have no further comments.
Okay, committee, do you have any questions or a motion?
No, move
I
it.
had Nancy moved
Is there a
and Dale
seconder?
seconded.
All in favor? Opposed, if any? None? Application approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You look nice. Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, David, are you at your computer, just moved it?
Oh,
He's stepped out. That's fine. Just so that I can make a note of that. Okay, I am all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
okay, I'm ready.
All right, so we are hearing HMB 2056 and HMA 2174 for 291 and 293 Jackson Street West in Hamilton. And we have the agent and owner registered to speak.
Okay, I want to know if Frank Razzo is there.
he's here.
Can you hear me okay?
Is that right?
Are you able to see my face? Do you need to see my face?
I can't believe you're doing this on the first day of the month. See, I don't have any real estate, so it's easy for me to do this.
We have to. No one's as organized as you, Mr. Dudzik. That's for damn sure. I don't know how you manage your life, but it's incredible.
I have no idea either. Okay,
Thank
you
you.
happy with everything you read, Frank? More or less?
I read the comments. I do have a couple of questions, perhaps requests, and even some clarification to offer. For starters, the owners are not registered to speak and will not be speaking, so I'm representing them fully today. Some clarification is in order with respect to the layout of the retained lot to address the parking space requirement. So the retained lot, 291 Jackson Street, is a 2-story, 6 habitable rooms. So 3 bedrooms, kitchen, living room, dining room, unfinished, uninhabitable basement. Their driveway, the parking spaces for the driveway is 3.35 meters wide by 15.25 meters long. So on the face of it, it wouldn't require a minor variance with respect to parking. If I could address the consolidation report, and just by way of background, my clients are both retired, purchased the prospective retained properties, 291 Jackson Street in 1974, and then in 1981 purchased 293 Jackson Street. The lawyer at the time did not catch that titles would be merging. So they're owned by both my clients in identical fashion. Title has merged. With respect to the consolidation report, the properties are currently individually taxed. So with respect to item number 3, they are currently individually taxed. They are separately metered. So I'm just wondering, for the sake of simplifying the conditions that might be attached, if those can be deleted from the recommendations, as well as the first item, which is that a reference plan be submitted. The property description is not problematic. It has been accepted by the registry office. There's no notations on title whatsoever requiring any sort of R plan or that it may be unregisterable at some future date. So those would be my requests. Everything else is completely acceptable, and we would be more than happy to abide by it. So that would be recommendation 1 with respect to the R plan. Item 4 with respect to administration fees, only insofar as proving a negative, so to speak, right? It's already set up. Item 6 with respect to proof of separate independent sewers and waters. The properties were always independently constructed at very different times. There's no evidence or reason to believe that they're in any way consolidated in terms of water and sewer services.
Okay, so my experience with inadvertently merged properties, as long as the registry office accepts the 2 legal descriptions, you don't need to have, because they do a reference plan to create new legal descriptions. So I've seen that waived many, many times. Just you have to get the registry office to accept the descriptions as are and to pin them separately. So that makes perfect sense. No sense spending $2,000 just to re-describe it's already legally properly described. As for the sewers, you just have to get someone to show that they're separate, and I'll leave it to the committee.
One other item, if I can speak to this, and that is item recommendation 5 or comment 5 with respect to compliance with the OBC. I would just like it to be, so it's speaking of regarding spatial separation distances of any structures. And if it could just be clarified that it's in relation to the 2 subject properties, as opposed to 293 and the adjoining, or not adjoining property, but the property to the west of it.
Not ones that are on the flank of either side.
Yeah, so just the 2 properties in question, the 2, the 2 structures in question.
Does that make sense to the committee? It does to me.
Okay, so we have Thomas who wished to speak.
I may have missed something here. There's also a proposed condition that an easement on title. Is that what I don't know whether that last comment dealt with that. An easement on title for the access and maintenance on 293 in favor of 293.
Right, we'd be happy to comply with that. We will register that. All right. No, my comment, sir, was with respect to item 5 or recommendation 5, which relates to the Ontario Building Code, which spoke of meeting the spatial separation requirements. And I just wanted to be clarified that it was strictly in relation to 291 and 293.
So approval then would be subject to that condition of the maintenance easement.
Correct.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Tom, do you want to make a motion to that?
Sure,
effect?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so just to clarify, so that is a motion to approve with the removal of condition 1, the removal of condition 4, and condition 5 clarified for the 2 subject properties, 291 and 293 Jackson Street West.
Yes, and subject to the condition for the maintenance.
Okay, so condition 2, 3, 6, and 7 remain as stated?
Yes,
that's my
Okay, so we have a question from Margaret.
Yes, a comment. I'm not sure that I like removing the conditions. I would prefer it to be, if required, added to them. Now, condition number 1 does say unless exempted by the land registrar. So there is an out there. It's not you definitely have to do it. So if you can satisfy the land registrar, then you don't need to do that. It's already in that condition. And yeah.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Every time I've had one, I just get an exemption from the land registrar, and then you don't have to get the reference plan.
Does the agent have a problem with the if required?
Not with respect to item number 1. We can get a tangible answer from the registry office. I do think it's my respectful submission, redundant. The properties are registered. There's no issue registering title, but certainly I will comply with that request. My issue and my request for some of the deletions was essentially proving a negative, right? So number 4 speaks of an administration fee. It's already set up. They're already receiving separate tax bills. And similarly with respect to, well, I spoke to 6, but Mr. Chairman addressed that and has requested that we provide proof of independent sewer and water services. Off the top of my head, I don't know how that's provable, but we can sort that out another day.
They can do a search at the city hall. They sometimes have it. You can look back. I've seen it happen before.
Or the water meters would be separate?
Yes.
There's a Rudo meter in there.
So with that, Thomas, did you want to change it?
Yes, all right. We'll do it with the if required.
Okay, so to clarify, the motion is to move to approve with condition 1 if required, condition 4 removed, and condition 5 amended to for the subject lands of 291 and 293 Jackson Street West, and all other conditions remain unchanged.
Okay.
Yes, all right.
Good with that, Frank?
Yes, thank you very much.
Second for the motion?
So we have Nancy.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? None? Hearing adjourned. Frank.
Thank you very much. There's a minor variance. Is that tied in?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
At least you didn't. You're not the one that merged it. You weren't around in 1980.
I was born, but I was in elementary school.
I was in law school, so lighten up. See ya.
Thank you again.
Yeah, Frank's one of the busier real estate lawyers in the city. So I'm sure he was thrilled to be here too. Okay, off to S-Link.
Okay, just one sec. Okay, and Bob, was this Ward 7?
Yes.
So Bob has previously declared a conflict of interest for all Ward 7 applications going forward. So he will be stepping out of the room for this hearing.
Okay.
All right, so we are hearing HMA 2170 for 79 Essling Avenue in Hamilton. And we have the owner registered to speak, as well as the agent.
Okay. Who's speaking?
Yes, hi, it's Abdul Mullah. I don't believe my agent is here, so.
Okay, from what I can see, there isn't anything too controversial, so maybe we can proceed without the agent. Does the committee have any concerns? No?
Move it.
Do you have a motion?
I'll second it.
So moved by Margaret and seconded by Dale.
All in favor? Opposed? None?
Perfect. Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready.
All right, so we have 590 Main Street East, HMA 2171, and we have the agent registered to speak.
Okay, who's speaking here?
Hello, good afternoon. It's Anderson Rusam. I'm the owner. My agent is on a call with me as well, in case of any questions.
Okay, I seem to see relatively decent comments. Does the committee have any questions or concerns?
I do.
So we have Nancy.
Yes, I do actually. About the radial separation, 33 meters, and the other way I think is 180 versus 33. Somehow that doesn't seem minor to me. Can maybe staff elaborate on that?
So through the chair to you, Nancy, the distance is to ensure that we maintain a sufficient amount of commercial uses in this area, but the existing use of the subject property is already a multiple dwelling with no commercial units. So they're just adding more units. So that's why we considered it minor in nature.
I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Move it.
Seeing none? Okay. Okay, so I saw Nancy moved it and David seconded.
All in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Am I off the TV again there?
You are, yes.
I want a new
You're
iPad.
He's no longer part of the Brady Bunch.
Sorry, so it's approved?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Hearing's adjourned.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
We're on Wood Street. Go ahead.
We're on Park. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm jumping around. Yes, that's correct. So we are hearing HMA 2172 for 12 Wood Street in Hamilton. And we have the agent, Lindsay, registered to speak, as well as the owner.
Hey, Lindsay, are you there? Lindsay?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Can you hear
Lindsay.
me?
Yeah. Okay, you've seen the comments. What do you have to say?
Sure. So I saw the comments from staff, and I just prepared a little presentation for the committee. So I'm just going to read from my paper here. So bear with me. This application is, so we're talking about 12 Wood Street West. The application is for a new 2-story dwelling with a separate basement unit to replace an existing 1.5-story dwelling. The property is located within an established neighborhood in a very up-and-coming area of the North End. Development is occurring in this area, and we are seeing the increase in real estate market for new development here. The property is Zone D, which permits 1 and 2 family dwellings. From the streetscape, we are proposing to shift the house away from the street to maintain the 6-meter front yard setback that is required in the current bylaw. The new dwelling has a front-facing garage with access from a single driveway, a feature similar to many others along this section of Wood Street West. The entrance to the basement unit will be tucked down the side of the house and will not be visible from the streetscape. We feel that this proposal is an effective way to generate intensification in the built-up area while maintaining the requirements of the current zoning bylaw for the built form on the property. Variances 1 and 2 are required for this application because the existing lot does not meet the minimum frontage or area for a 2-unit dwelling. However, the purpose of these requirements is to ensure that there is sufficient amenity space, parking, and landscaping accommodated on the lot. Planning staff have confirmed that there is sufficient amenity space in our proposal to meet the needs of the tenants for both units. Planning staff have identified an issue with the amount of parking. However, with this proposal, we are providing 2 full-size off-street parking spaces that do not currently exist for the lot, therefore accommodating additional parking even with the undersized lot. While in variance 3, we are seeking to reduce the front yard landscaping from the required 50% to 31%. I would like to note to the committee that the existing house provides only 10 square meters of landscaping in the front yard, while our new proposed dwelling currently provides 15 square meters, therefore an overall increase in the total landscaping. We do, however, have the opportunity to further increase the soft landscaping by replacing the paved walkway that's currently shown to the west of the driveway with grass, as well as reducing the driveway width down to 3.7 meters, which will get us to the 50% front yard landscaping if the committee would be amenable to that change, which would eliminate the need for variance 3. Variances 4, 5, and 6 are related to parking requirements for the second dwelling unit. And in our proposal, there is 1 full parking space that meets all zoning requirements for the location, size, maneuverability, and accessibility for the use of 1 dwelling unit. The proposed second parking space is on the driveway and requires technical variances as it is located within the front yard, is tandem to the garage space, and requires maneuverability onto Wood Street. However, in our opinion, providing 2 off-street parking spaces is still an improvement to the current parking situation. It is currently 1 unit with 0 parking spaces, as I mentioned. Furthermore, 11 of the 22 houses currently in this stretch of Wood Street on both north and south sides, including unit addresses 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 17, 21, 23, 27, 29, and 30 Wood Street West currently have parking spaces within the front yard. And therefore, in our opinion, the proposed front yard parking will maintain the general character of the area. Given the nature of the variances, we feel that they are minor in nature and meet the general intent and purpose of the current zoning bylaw. Within the official plan, the property is designated neighborhoods, which permits low-density residential development. Chapter E of the Urban Official Plan, Section 2.6, states that neighborhoods will evolve and homes that are being rebuilt will include residential intensification with neighborhoods at a range of scales and densities to provide intensification that is compatible with and respects the built form and character of the surrounding neighborhood. Furthermore, the section of the official plan states that this element shall permit and provide the opportunity for a full range of housing forms, types, and tenure, including affordable housing. While we understand that planning staff have concerns that the proposal may not fit with the existing character of the neighborhood, we would like to point out to the committee that Wood Street West, between James and McNabb, consists of a wide variety of densities, built forms, and various architectural styles and heights. Along this stretch of Wood Street West, of the 22 properties, there is 1 duplex, 3 semi-detached dwellings, and a wide variety of 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5-story detached homes. The architecture varies from wartime bungalows, a 2-story duplex with a flat roof directly across at number 11, brick raised ranches, and 2.5-story renovated Victorians. Heights ranging from 14 feet to 32 feet. And just for context, our application falls just at over 26 feet in height. 4 of the homes have private garages that are visible from Wood Street, and as previously mentioned, half of the properties currently have front yard parking. These characteristics have created inconsistency in the general neighborhood character to which it is difficult to find strict compatibility. Most importantly, we do feel that while our design aims to enhance the property and bring new life to the north end, these variances would not be required if we were proposing a single-family dwelling and are only being triggered by the basement unit. The basement unit will have no impact on the setback, scale, or design of the built form for this proposal, and it is in keeping with the current densities. Therefore, it is our opinion that the inclusion of the basement unit will have no impact on the character of the existing neighborhood. With support from the community, 8 of the 11 immediate neighbors have reviewed the proposed plans and are in favor of the proposal. We have 3 written support letters, and 5 neighbors have verbally confirmed that they have no concerns with the proposed development. Some even offered positive feedback on the parking and excitement for the design and potential increase in property values with new development on the street. Sorry, I'm almost done. With that, we believe that the variances being requested meet the general intent and purpose of the official plan and are desirable for the appropriate development of the lands. While we understand that the existing dwelling has been included in the city's inventory of buildings of architectural or historical interest, this property is not formally recognized under the Ontario Heritage Act. Planning staff have requested that a cultural heritage impact assessment be submitted as a condition of approval of this application. And while our client is amenable to a scoped heritage impact assessment, we don't feel it is warranted given the nature and condition of the existing dwelling. The entirety of the interior of the home was renovated in the early 2000s with new kitchen, bathrooms, flooring, electrical, etc. The windows and exterior doors were replaced with new and the original brick has been painted. If a scoped cultural heritage assessment is required by the committee and results in identification of salvageable materials, our client is more than willing to donate these to the city for restoration. Based on the aforementioned, if our proposal is modified to be a single-family dwelling, we would not require any variances, but the outcome on the streetscape would be the same. We would meet the zoning requirements for setbacks, height, and parking with our current design proposal and would have no issues obtaining building permits for this design in this neighborhood. The dwelling would appear the same in the neighborhood streetscape, but the city would be losing a fantastic opportunity to provide well-executed intensification and affordable housing in a thriving neighborhood. Thank you for your time, and I'm available for any questions.
Lindsay, very well said. Would you be kind enough to email that to the committee so they could have it in the record? Because I'm sure they're trying to summarize that.
Thank you. I was going to request the same thing.
I will go ask the committee if they have any questions, but that was one of the best presentations I've ever heard.
Thank you.
We have Thomas and then Nancy.
I get back on my rant about the north end. The one side of the street that this house is on is all consistent properties. It's a homogeneous kind of frontage. The opposite side of the street is an abomination with a whole mixture of types of buildings. 15 and 17 are brand new, relatively new houses by the look of it, that look more in place in a mountain subdivision than they do in what used to be a heritage area, at least. There are two houses down, I don't know whether it's east or west, from this property. It looks like a newer property, but it was built consistent with the heritage exposure, if that's the word, of the block. Now it's a question of what, again, I'm all for trying to maintain the consistent heritage of this area. To some extent, it's been destroyed already on the other side of the street. So I don't know whether it makes a difference or not, but I would like to see, we don't know what kind of building they want to put in there. There are no drawings, no renderings. I have no idea what's going in there. It could be another sort of tall, skinny building shoehorned in amongst small cottages. I have no idea. So
if I could speak on behalf of the applicant, if I was doing this presentation, the first thing I would say is Herman Terpstra is not there posing anything.
I'm sorry, that what?
He has for the last 30 years.
I didn't hear, Mark. Sorry, what'd you say?
I say anything that's gone in this area, including Wood Street over the last 30 years, Herman Terpstra would always be there to oppose it if he wasn't happy or if it didn't fit in. And he's not here. So that's just a point I'd make.
Well, he did appear, if you recall, he did appear before the committee in favor of dividing a property and putting in two consistent houses side by side. So he's not totally negative.
But for other people's property, he's always there, except today.
Well, all right. I've said what I've said. I would at least like to see, have an idea of what's going in there if I were to approve the thing. Otherwise, I would not be in favor.
Okay, Nancy, you had something to say?
I just wanted to, for the record, make sure that the application identification was changed to 12 Wood Street West, not East. So if you look at the staff report, it reads East.
Yes, sorry, on our notice and on all of our other documents, except for that package, it does say 12 Wood Street West. We'll just make a note of that for the decision.
Thank you. And I have no problem with this. This is a very, what I want to call it, I guess Lindsay described it properly, an eclectic area. And there is a very strong mix of housing in there. So I'm okay with it. So if somebody's making a motion, I would support it.
And
Anyone
then
else want to say anything? And I'll ask for a motion.
we had David wishing to speak as well.
David?
Yes, hi. I just want clarification. I'm just trying to go through all the comments and everything, and I had a little trouble. There's two parking spots that are provided here, one in the garage and one in the front yard, both not being accepted. And only 2 parking spots are needed for this two-family dwelling, correct? Is that what that's it? So there is parking, but they're just not, kind of like massage parking. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that only 2 spots are needed, and there is 2 spots, but they're not really recognized 2 spots.
Okay. You want to make a motion?
I'll second her motion.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
I think I'm opposed.
Okay, and so we have Thomas and Margaret opposed.
Okay, but otherwise, it's a majority. Application approved. Hearing adjourned.
Thank you very much, committee.
I had a feeling that the neighbors also, who seemed to be okay with it, might have had some concern if they were doing something really crazy. So in my heart, I feel like it's okay.
Okay, you keep telling yourself that.
2 parking
Trust your
spots
heart.
are better than none.
My heart.
You know, Mark, you got to trust your heart, Mark.
You don't? Yes, you do. Now, am I off to the grid again?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's see what happens.
There we go.
Hey,
Okay, and I'm all set whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
just run to Parkdale now.
Park Row.
Park Row.
Park Road.
He's back.
It's all parks. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we are hearing HMA 2173 for 51 Park Row North in Hamilton. And we have the owner, Savannah, registered to speak, as well as an interested party, Murray.
Hey. Is Mr. Katie there?
Hi.
Where are you?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. I don't see you. Where are you? No, I don't see you yet.
Not working.
I just want to see if you looked at all your signs and ads and pictures and I see.
No. How are you guys?
Good. Now, before you start, Savannah, who's the interested party here? Is it a neighbor, an objector?
I'm not sure.
Yes. Deborah Murray.
Deborah, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Are you here to speak on this?
Yes, I'm opposing the parking.
Okay, so I'll let you speak first, and then the applicant can respond, and then the committee can ask questions. Okay, Ms. Murphy, what address are you at?
Pardon me?
What address do you live at?
47 Province Street North.
Okay.
I'm directly behind the 51 Park Road North. My concerns is the parking that they want to consume in the alleyway, right off of the pipeline. And so the parking would be, like the cars would be sending their fumes into my backyard. I was wondering if there was a different way that they could do the parking. I'm not opposed to them doing a 2-family dwelling. I'm opposing to the parking itself.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Applicant, is there something you want to say? The comments are favorable, but you've got a concern about the parking, or do you have something to say about fumes or any comment concerning that?
That's my only option for me to have parking there, other than the street parking. So there's plenty of room there that I highly doubt the fumes will be into effect of the neighbor in the back. But
Okay, so you don't think it's going to cause a fume problem?
absolutely not. There's plenty of cars that are already existent. So why would that make a difference?
Well, nobody uses that pipeline or the the alleyway for any parking whatsoever and haven't for 25 years.
The people that are now have been using it, and I have also been using it. So I don't see an issue that's been there since
I have never seen you in that backyard or the alleyway. I've seen you in the house measuring. That's about it. But the pipeline, and what's wrong with street parking? We all use street parking. You know, if you have, we're allowed one car per house, and you know what? Like, so figure something else out. Why do we have to suffer through the noise alone of the cars coming back and forth, whatever times a day or night or whatever? I'm in my backyard minding my own business.
Well, street parking is definitely an option, but that's why the alleyway is there, is for everybody to use parking.
Yes, I know. I've been here for 25 years. I get it. I understand it. But that alleyway has never been maintained, except for 20 years ago when there was a lady that used to use it for her garage, which is right next door. They don't use it anymore. The backyard, we've got rid of Delta High School, so we don't have the kids smoking their weed in the backyard. We don't have to worry about theft.
Okay. Well, maybe.
So I get it, but at the end of the day, you've got 3 neighbors directly impacted by your proposal to park in the alleyway, which is fine, park in the alleyway. But my concern is there's more theft when they have a back alley access to the houses. That house has been broken into already once, and there's been no access to the house through the alleyway.
I think that you're not going to get away from theft. If somebody wants to get in, they're getting in cars or no cars. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have committee members who wish to speak. So we have Margaret and Nancy and then Bob.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bob.
Sorry, it was, yeah. Nancy, go ahead.
Oh, I thought Margaret was first.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I'm looking at you, Margaret. You just can't see me looking at you.
This is actually a question for the neighbor. Neighbor, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you say that you live on Park Row North?
No, I live on Province.
Province, sorry.
Which is directly behind the house, yes.
Actually, I don't think it is. My understanding is that the 51 Park Row North is actually on the west side of Park Row, which backs onto the houses
Province.
On Edgemount.
Edgemount.
No, it backs onto Province.
No, she's correct. I back onto Edgemount. The people that are behind me have a garage, and they actually have a car there constantly. So yes, she's correct.
The 51, I see what's happening. You're on the wrong side. Yeah.
No, my house is on Province. I'm behind. Edgemont is the other side at the front door.
Backing onto Edgemont.
No, you are on Province, but the application actually backs onto a house that fronts on Edgemont. So they're not actually going to be impacting your house.
The house doesn't go on to Edgemont.
Yes.
We're talking about the 2-story house on Park Row, right?
No. Hello.
What house are we talking about?
51 Park Row.
Across the street from the one you're referring to.
Which is right behind my house.
No.
Yeah, but we're not dealing with the one behind your house. We're dealing across the street.
You're going across the street, going towards Edgemont?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because when I checked the address, it was the house right directly behind me on Park Row, facing my house was the address, but it's the opposite side.
That backs onto Edgemont.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. No
sorry,
problem.
so sorry. When I checked, I'm old. Forgive me, because this house backs onto Park Row or Edgemont. Or oh my God, now you have me all confused. It backs onto Province. Is the house that just sold that was getting measured and stuff, and I'm assuming that was the house. I am so sorry, people.
No worries.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Motion,
Okay.
please.
Oh, good.
Move it.
Okay.
We had a motion by
you.
Bob, seconded by Dale.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thanks.
None. Application approved.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Hey, these things can happen.
It just occurred to me that there's a condition suggested for approval. I don't know what the committee thinks of that. The staff suggests approval provided that the owner provide a scaled and fully dimensioned site plan drawing of the subject property to the satisfaction of the manager of development and planning, heritage and design.
I'm still here and I'll get that.
I'm sorry?
I'm still here. I'll get that to them.
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Fine,
So,
for sure.
subject to that condition then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we are hearing HMA 2184 for 129 Parkdale Avenue South in Hamilton. And we have the agent, Ken, registered to speak.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah.
You see the comments, they're in favor of some variances, but obviously the one you care most about, they don't. Is there anything you wanted to say at this time?
Yes, I've read through the comments and I guess I failed to realize that these units aren't permitted in a semi-detached. However, I would just like to say that, you know, this is still part of the bylaw, and the bylaw can be amended based off of committee decisions. So, you know, the unit does, you know, the second unit that we're providing in the basement is still of a nice, decent size. There's still lots of room in both dwelling units. You know, we don't need unit size variances. You know, the parking has all been, looks like it's going to be supported by staff, which is good. So it's just the semi-detached. So I guess I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that the committee would approve it without having to go for a official rezoning. We also got an unsolicited letter of support from a neighbor, as you can see, supporting the application. So that's great.
Okay, can we do it this way? I mean, I can see what they want to do and it makes sense. Is it possible?
I could speak to that, but we also have Nancy and Dale who wish to speak as well.
Okay, go
You want to
ahead.
speak first? Go ahead, Nancy.
Did I? I didn't have my hand
Oh,
up.
sorry. I'm doing it again. Margaret, I'm so sorry.
Actually, yeah, I think my comment is that it's not permitted. So it's not a variance, it's just not permitted. So I don't think I'd support it.
In other words, like this happens quite often. It sounds completely reasonable, but it's just a jurisdictional issue that you can't do it. Maybe.
And then we also had, sorry, Mr. Chairman, we had Dale who wished to speak, and then we had Thomas as well.
Okay, go ahead, Dale.
Yes. Yep, so I agree with Margaret. It's a zoning bylaw amendment that's needed, and that's the comments from planning, and so I think we need to go that way.
Okay, Sir Thomas?
I'm going to help row that boat. There's reasons for bylaws, and it seems to me we just can't go around ignoring bylaws and saying, "Oh, what the heck? It's a good idea." So I would be against approval.
Okay, anyone else?
Is that a motion, Tom?
All right, I'll make the motion to deny.
But not the other two, though. There's two other variances that are.
No, I don't think that's going to help much. You're right. It's variance 1 that's being denied, right? Yes.
Actually, it would help because if they do the zoning change application and it's approved, then they'd be sent back to get variances for those two things. So now if they do go through the zoning change, those two variances are already there. So they would
All right, fair enough.
2 years on the other thing.
Fair enough. The motion is to deny, I think it's variance 1 is the conversion, yes? And allow the other two.
The other two.
So there was actually 3 others.
Is there 3? Sorry.
Yeah, so there was also related to the parking space as well. So I believe we're not in favor of that. Is that?
No, I think that's okay.
No, that's okay.
No, the parking's okay.
I think they said,
they want to spend the dough to go through zoning change.
Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the staff recommendations, and it was they only mentioned variance 2 and 3, and then variance 1 was to be denied. So,
they don't require 4.
They don't require 4.
That's right.
Correct. Okay, so it would just be for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And I'll second that with those changes.
All in favor? Opposed? Hearings adjourned. Approved in part, denied in part. We're done.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Who's barking?
Not sure. I muted a couple people, so whoever it was is muted now. Okay. All right, so I'm all set for the next one, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
All right, so we are hearing HMA 2175 for 174 Beach Boulevard, and we have the agent as well as the owner registered to speak. Yes, that's correct.
I see the agent on the grid. Is there anything you wish to say? Lorraine?
Hi, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Can everybody hear me okay?
So we're getting some feedback. I'm not sure, is that just me or are the other committee members getting that as well?
Yeah, also.
Also?
And it looks like it's from Lorraine.
Sorry. Can everybody hear me now? How's that?
It's a bit better.
Yeah? How's that? So everybody can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to start off with the email I sent the other day in regards to our home at 174 Beach Boulevard. I do have a couple of pictures that I will show after my email is read, and hopefully you'll take this into consideration for review. So good afternoon. As requested, please see attached photo of documentation for the notice that we posted on our house for the minor variance review. I've also attached 2 additional photos of newer homes on Beach Boulevard for your review in regards to height restrictions. The current home under construction, which is the second photo, is 711 Beach Boulevard, which is this home here, if everybody can see. And there's another home on 5th Avenue, which is off of Beach Boulevard as well. Everybody can see this one as well. In regards to our home, we fully intend to keep the overall character of our home, for we have resided there since 2009. And we love our history of the home since it was built in 1911. Our goal is to infill the basement due to ongoing water issues over the years that the Beach Boulevard residents have had to deal with. As far as the second floor entrance is concerned, we do understand the concerns with reflecting the established character of the CHL. However, the majority of the homes on Beach Boulevard have their own separate character. And I'm sure if many of you have gone down Beach Boulevard can see each home is different. Each home has its own characteristics. the front stairs, we understand that there's a concern having the entrance on the second floor. I would like to show another picture just to give you a concept of what we're looking at. So this is a home that my husband built in Florida several years ago. So it shows the front entrance, and it is very appealing, and especially for the Beach Boulevard area. We'd just like to be able to keep the historical presence of the home, but just add beach characteristics to it. We understand the height that's involved. We hope you'll take that in consideration. We are not on the water side. We are on the QEW side. And so we would not be impeding on anybody as far as view and height restrictions are concerned. That's it for me. If anybody else, Angelo and Kelsey?
Yeah, if you don't mind my chiming in. Hard act to follow, Lorraine. Well done. My comments are, I mean, I read the comments from the staff, and there's a few elements to there. One of them is the height, which the height is what we're really looking to contend with, his physical attribute. The rest of it is the what they talk about. It's not in keeping in the neighborhood and the massing and styling of the homes. And to Lorraine's point, if you drive up and down Beach Boulevard, there's a whole slew of styles ranging from the nice cottagey ones to, the typical subdivision home on steroids kind of thing. And I think that what they're trying to do is keep the integrity of the look of the house, but raising it up so that they can accommodate their need for a garage while still keeping the original house, because the intent is to actually lift the house up. And if you take a look at the house, by the fact that you're taking this existing story and a half, lifting it up one story, from the street side, it still is a 2.5 story home. From the back side, granted, it is a full-on 3 story, just the way the roof lines are. So visually, I think we fall in line with the intent of the neighborhood. It's the height really that obviously is what we're trying to strive for, because we're just trying to get up to a certain point so they can get their cars in there, they can and do their thing with the house. So I don't think that we're horribly out of line here. And otherwise, again, aside from the height, everything else I think suits the look of the neighborhood and is in keeping with the look of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak?
Sorry, we have Thomas and then Margaret or Nancy wishing to speak.
The two pictures of the homes being built were kind of flashed by me. Can you just hold us up again and just give us a look, a longer look? That one is being built where? Where is that one being built?
You're on mute, right?
I can't hear you.
How's that?
Yeah, all right.
That was weird.
Hold up the picture again. Where is that being built?
So this is 711 Beach Boulevard.
Which is where in relation to your property?
It's on the north end of the beach strip, but it's also next to a home that was converted from a castle. So this can also tell you the differences on the homes on the beach strip.
All right, so that's further along the beach strip toward the canal?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then the other one?
And then this one is also towards the canal, but it's off of 5th Avenue, which is one of the side streets off of Beach Boulevard.
All right. And, any idea what the height of those buildings are, those houses?
Unfortunately, I do not, but based on if I stood there, I'm pretty much gauging it to where we sit with our home. The thing is while we have taken a look at our existing roof line, we don't want to take away from the integrity of the house to change it that much. And to be honest, it's a couple of feet difference from what's being requested. So that's why we're hoping to be able to keep that roof line integrity of the home.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then we had Margaret and then David.
Nancy. Did you mean Nancy?
Yes. make up
Hilarious.
names. I'm just going to be like, yep, so somebody wanted to talk and they can go ahead. Oh my gosh. More coffee.
Other than the different buildings that, I mean, we all know Beach Boulevard, again, is a very mix of buildings. And with all the new construction, I don't know how you're trying to maintain a look down there, because there is no look. It's all over the place. It's the height issue. And I don't see it as a huge difference. It's 11 meters versus 11.71, if that's not, am I right on that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, and I mean, I like what's going on down there, and I'd be able to support this.
For what it means, I like it too.
Now, Margaret.
Yes. Okay, am I next?
Yeah, so we can do Margaret and then David as well.
I think I have a comment about one of the comments that was made by staff, and that's that it is subject to site plan control, and it hasn't received conditional approval of the site plan. So had the site plan actually been submitted?
Yes, it's in review right now.
Okay, so
Any
it's,
approval would be subject to site plan anyways, for sure.
I know, I'm just not sure about approving a variance before we have conditional approval of the site plan.
I'm trying to do it
We have-
regularly. Pulls apart anyways.
We do also have
Variances, then it would have to be addressed to reapply.
Say that again?
I said, if we approve it subject to site plan and site plan is not approved, it all falls apart. If site plan is approved, but they require further variance, then it's at their risk that they'd have to reapply for further variances.
There is, at the moment, there's no condition for site plan, so are you saying that subject to?
Subject to site plan approval, of course.
Yeah, if I might chime in, we kept the house to the pretty much the existing like location where it is right now. You're basically lifting it straight up, and what you're doing is you're adding onto the back. And we do have a setback in the rear of the house that is dictated by the MTO, and so we've had to stay to that setback. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if we don't get it, because we've really tried hard to stay within all those limitations. But I get it. You're still waiting for the approval. Fully understand that part.
Okay, so you can ask us to proceed, in which case, if we do incline to approve it, it would be subject to site plan. We could table it, wait till you get site plan, bring it back for more or less just ratification at that time. And then in the event there is a further variance through site plan, then you can piggyback on and wait for a whole new application. Your call.
Okay, so we have David wishing to speak, and then I think I saw Dale as well.
Yes, thank you. So to the applicant, I guess two things. One, the basement. You right now you have a basement, and what do you plan on doing with the basement now?
We plan on infilling the basement. Currently, it's technically a cellar, but we've had water issues through the years. We have 4 sump pumps going at all times. We pretty much pump 20,000 gallons of water a day when the water's high.
Is it completely underground, the basement?
I've been there.
Yes.
It is? Okay. Now, so do you understand anything? Are you confident that these are all the variances that you need? Are you pretty confident in your build right here?
Absolutely.
I understand the site plan situation. If you're confident, you know what I mean, you don't need anything else, and we could proceed. So I'm good with this application.
Okay, so you're suggesting that motion to approve subject to site plan?
What about Dale?
Dale wants to speak.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm looking at this as very minor. It's only 0.7 of a meter in the height, and it's gonna benefit this area for sure. So I'm in favor of it. If we need to put site plan approval or whatever in place as a condition, that's fine too.
Okay, so that sounds like Dale and David move in second. Is there everyone in favor of that motion?
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Application approved.
Sorry, Margaret, are you opposed or are you in favor or are you just abstaining from voting?
No, I have to make up my mind. I'm in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Application approved, hearing adjourned. Good luck and look forward to seeing it one day.
Thanks very much, all. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Take care.
$20,000 liters of water a day? That's scary.
Yeah.
Jesus. David, do you have problems with water at your place?
I heard we do, but I'm in Nova Scotia, so I heard back home.
Do you?
I think so. I don't care.
It's got an indoor swimming pool.
They called it to say they have no water to take a shower. I don't care. I got a shower. I got a hot tub. I'm good.
All right, I am all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman. Okay, we are hearing HMA 19464 for 12 West Avenue North in Hamilton, and we have the owner and agent registered to speak.
Okay, who's speaking on this one?
I'll be speaking. I'm the owner. My name's Howard.
Hey, Howard. I looked at the comments. Planning seems to be okay. Development engineering is talking about tabling it to sort something out for a grading plan. Have you contemplated your comment?
I reviewed the comment and I had my engineer because we're already developing the plans for the building permit on this. So he drafted, or we finalized kind of our design, and he drafted a water flow plan, basically. So I'm not sure exactly what, I understand that the way that we proposed it probably, raises a few questions about how water on the property will be managed. But I think that in the actuality of the situation is that it's pretty simple. And I think we have a plan that'll work quite well.
So I think, Howard, if we're inclined to approve this, it'll likely be subject to satisfaction of development engineering with the grading plan. So if we do approve it, it'll be conditional on that being satisfied, and you'd have to approach them to show what you have to fulfill that requirement.
Are they here today, or?
Pardon me?
Are they in this meeting now, or?
No, they're not.
Okay.
This is just an online hearing. You'd have to approach them thereafter if, in fact, someone wants to make a motion to approve it on those terms. Does anyone wish to do so?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, so we had Nancy, I believe, with a question?
I was just going to comment that I'm really pleased to see this has come along this way after the last meeting. We had a little contention, and I'm happy to see that neighbor is happy. So I'm happy to do a motion to approve it with that grading plan approved.
Yeah. Is there a seconder?
Mel.
We have Mel seconding.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? None? Applications approved.
Thank you so much. The one question perhaps is that, so is this part of the building permit application that I put this grading plan in, or please explain the process to me from this point forward?
Yeah, so you can submit it before that. You'll just have to let them know. You'll submit it directly to development engineering approvals, and they'll just basically send me a letter, and then I'll attach it to the decision so that when you go to apply for your building permit, it's noted in our internal filing system.
Okay, perfect.
Who does he see at Development Engineering? Do you have a name or
that
it's on or something?
So they have a general mailbox because there's different areas that kind of different people look after. So it's DEV ENG approvals at hamilton.ca. And then if you explain what it's related to, they'll be able to direct you to the correct staff person.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank everybody for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Hey.
All right. I'm all set for the next one.
Go ahead.
All right. So we're hearing GLA 2178 for 127 Gretty Drive in Glanbrook. And we have the agent, David, registered to speak again.
And we have no major comments. Doesn't appear we have any objectors. Does anyone want to say anything, or do I have to talk to Carruthers?
Who's Carruthers?
David.
Yes. Hi, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I've gone through staff comments. I have no further anything to add at this time.
Okay. Have a motion, please.
Move it.
Seconder.
Oh, we have Nancy.
All in favor? Opposed?
Oh, wait. I don't have, or I don't see Dale and Mel. Okay.
I'm in favor.
Okay, so Dale's in favor and Mel is in favor.
Okay, application approved, hearing adjourned.
Thank you.
Completely went out.
Okay, and I'm all set for the next one whenever you are, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready.
All right, so we are hearing HMA 2176 for 63 Sherwood Rise in Hamilton, and we have the owner registered to speak.
Okay. Are there any interested parties?
No, there are not any interested parties registered to speak.
No aldermen, no nothing. Okay, go ahead. What's his name? Joseph?
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
Okay. Would you like to speak? You see there's a little bit of stuff going on here, a little bit of controversy. What would you like to say to potentially persuade us to move on with this?
Well, I have written down a little something. If you don't mind, I'd like to read what I've written down here. Mr. Chairman and fellow distinguished committee members, thank you today for giving me the time to speak on behalf of my family and the structure. Excuse me one second. And the structure that we have built during these tough times with the COVID-19 pandemic. About 4 months ago, we started this project as a family, and I was unable to obtain a survey due to the pandemic. I followed every code that the city laid out to the letter T. Not only did I do that, but I also have compliments and letters from my existing neighbors stating what good of a job I've done bringing the property back up to par, saying that it was an eyesore before my wife and I purchased this home. I also have a daughter who's on the spectrum. This allows my daughter to have outside therapy done once a week. I mean, when it comes to zoning, I did make a mistake on a technicality versus side yard for front yard. That being said, I take full responsibility for that. But then again, I wasn't able to get proper diagnosis, or sorry, diagnosis, not the word I'm looking for, proper surveillance of my yard to tell me where this imaginary line was held. That being said, I mean, the height of the structure is under 4 meters. It is 10 by 10 structure. It is also floating structure. Basically built this for my kids out of safety. We moved into this neighborhood. The first few weeks we were in this neighborhood, I invited everybody on the block over for barbecue and drinks on my wife and I. We got a whole download of the safety, how there was an accident, teenagers from the school, Sherwood High School up the street, speeding down Sherwood Rise. That being said, I have young children, and I took it upon myself to make a safe place for them. I really don't have much else to say, but I just hope you guys can understand the situation I'm in, and that's the reason why I have the structure. The structure is to house, obviously, garden stuff, rakes, etc., but it also is a nice, quiet place for my wife and myself to take my children and do outside activities due to the fact of what's happening in the world today. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I mean, I have nothing to hide from you guys.
Okay, I see you have a whole series of letters that are relatively favorable from the neighborhood. Bob, you had a question?
No, I'm just going to move the motion.
You're in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah, I think.
No, I have comment.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I was first or Dale.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, he said. Go ahead, he said. We did receive another letter today from another neighbor. I'm not sure if the applicant got a copy of that as well.
No, I did not.
Okay. It was just from a neighbor. I don't know what number it was. I could probably tell you in a minute.
Yeah, we have 634 and that one that came in today.
Okay. So I did go by there. In fact, went by twice. And, you know, it is quite a shock to see such a long fence. A couple of things that bothered me. One was that you did go ahead without the permits. And having had the permits, there might have been a different location for that fence. I guess one of the comments, or two comments that I heard, were that the fence has never been finished. It's left unfinished with the poles of about 2 feet at the top that need to have the proper trim go around the top. So, I mean, aesthetically, if that were finished, it would probably make a lot of people happier than they are now.
You're absolutely right.
And I think the other issue is probably not that it's a bad thing. You're in a bad spot on a corner, and the determination now is whether that is the side lot or the front lot.
Correct.
So I don't like what I see. I don't like that it's there and so close to the sidewalk. But as Mr. Dudzik said earlier, you got to go with your heart sometimes. I would hate to have to see you tear it down.
I really
because it is already constructed. So if somebody makes a motion, I will support it. And I believe Mr. Charters did already.
Can I just
sorry, we have committee members who wish to speak, and then you can address them afterwards. So we have Dale who wanted to make comments, and then we had Margaret, and then David.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so I visited the site this morning just to have a visual on it. I talked with the applicant. Yeah, the fence is it definitely sticks out, but the fence isn't the issue here in front of us. The variance is the 10 by 10 gazebo. You don't need a permit for 10 square foot building or a garden shed. It's behind the fence. So I don't see it as being intrusive because the fence is there. The side lot, you know, compared to a front yard, because you're on a curved lot, I guess it's not called a corner lot because of the curve of the road. Right. So I don't see it being intrusive as far as the gazebo goes, and that's what's in front of us. So I will second the motion when needed.
Okay, does someone else want to speak, or I'd like to take the motion?
So we had David, Margaret, and Mel, and then Thomas. Everybody.
David.
Oh, me? Okay, good. Yeah. Listen, during this pandemic, really, that's no problem with you building it beforehand. I understand the problems that everybody's having, trying to get the right answers and the time it takes, and you just need to do what you got to do sometimes, and I totally understand. So I support the application.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and then we had Margaret.
Yes. Okay, so along with Dale's comments, that we actually are not approving anything to do with the fence, although
Correct.
the fence does seem to be on city property and does block your vision as you're going around the corner. I did notice that when I was there. I think that all we've got is the location of the shed or gazebo. And so, hate the fence, I'm okay with the gazebo.
Great.
Okay, and then we had Thomas.
Yeah, I agree with what Margaret said, that I'm okay with the gazebo. I just note that the staff notes say that the fence isn't covered under the Planning Act, and it's covered by the city fence bylaw, and we don't have the power to grant variances to the fence bylaw. So we're not dealing with the fence, we're dealing with the gazebo. I'm fine with that.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And he's gonna have to take his chances with the city as far as the fence is concerned.
Can I wait?
Yeah,
Can I just
Commissioner.
wait on that?
Okay, I'm going to take a motion now.
Move it.
Right from Bob.
Okay, so we had a motion from Bob.
Favor?
Second, Dave.
Opposed?
And the motion is what?
Approve.
Approval.
To approve.
All right.
Okay? No objections? Application approved, hearing adjourned.
Thank you all. Thank you very much, and have yourselves a great day.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just say one more thing before we end this? Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, hi, yes, sorry. So as for the cut lines of the fence and for line of sight, apparently Hamilton does not have diagrams for curved lots. They had to have traffic come out, and traffic, if you see in your notes, traffic said that it has there's no line of sight issue due to the fence. Traffic came out, did their measurements. They said that if anything, the curvature of the road is more of a problem than the actual fence itself. That being said, I built the fence. I think it was, if I have my numbers correct, the fence, the 3.9 meters of the property is owned by the city, and then the rest of it is mine, which would be approximately 4 feet onto my property. So, I mean, just so we can clarify that for future reference, that city has come out, city has done its measurements, and apparently I've been approved, and there was no issue or stipulations with the fence.
Cool.
Okay, anyways, we're talking about the fence. That's not part of the hearing. That's part of the say, but hearing's adjourned and we're done.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Okay. Okay, guys. Great job. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you on October 22nd.
Thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Bye now.
Go.
All right, bye.
All right.
Jamil, are you still there?
Yep, I am.
Yeah, Dale here. The gentleman that does rule comments, Belmere?
Yep, Bellamere.
Yeah, the extension you gave me before wasn't his extension, so.
Oh, no. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll get you the right one.
Or you can email it to me later, it's fine.
Sure, I can do that. That's fine.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Bye.
I'll get back to my closings.